Hello and welcome to today's session of Programming Our AI Game. Today we want to try to make the LLM not only remember this session, but also remember if we restart the application, it should still have this memory. This was... Well, I had a vote about it, and I had about a couple of votes, not a lot, but the majority voted for this kind of persistence of the memory. So we want to try that. Hello, Catherine. I'm so glad that you could make it this time. So let's begin. Okay. Let's start off with Git. So what I did today was not a lot, unfortunately, but I prepared some things. First of all, I disabled stable diffusion from the Docker Compose because right now we don't need this, so I just commented that out. And then I tried to use Postgre. So I added Postgre to the Docker Compose file on some port that should be free with a user a not so secure password and volume to mount it locally. All right, that's the Docker Compose. And then here we have the POM with Maven. I just added Postgre, and because we are using Spring Boot, we added the JPA interface, basically. Okay, and then, yeah, I refactored some things, and I think one thing I want to show you here is the application properties. So I added all these things we need for Postgre. We are using localhost and this username, the password, which is not secure. We are using the Postgre driver, and we are using update to generate the schemes. Okay, and I did some refactoring, but I did not finish. Unfortunately, I ran out of time today. But I think we can do that together today because it shouldn't be a huge problem. So I moved all these domain entities here into that domain. I left the name game and hero all the same. And I wanted to have separate classes for the entities that we store in the database. So these entities are called entities, have the postfix entity, to make sure that this is different from the domain objects, because I hate it if they have the same name but are in different packages, because then you import these packages and in the class you don't know what class is used. Then we have a little mapper that is not completed yet, but basically it just converts a game entity into a game, a domain object, and vice versa. Like I said, it's not finished at all yet, but that's all right. We can do that. I created a JPA repository for a game. Maybe we need more repositories. We'll see about that, but we have a game service that should be able to eventually save a game or load a game. And then I have these hero entities and story entities as well, with no content yet, but we can do that as well. So I think that's all that I did, which is not a lot, unfortunately, but I think the setup should not take so long. Let's start with the game entity. So we have a hero entity and a story entity. I just wanted to copy this game entity, and we have the hero and the story here. In the hero, we have, inventory health and stuff. We don't actually need this, do we? Well, if we want to save a game, we actually do need this. All right. This shouldn't be a problem at all. Put it here. No, 1 second. The hero, that's something from the hero. But this should not be final. All right. Wait a second. Let's try some AI. Do I still have the license for that? Yes. Generate. Oh no. Whoop. That was the wrong one. Here we go. Generate all the necessary annotations and getter and setter to make this object work as an entity in a database, in an entity. Let's do it. This is taking a long time. Oh no, we are using the chat. Damn it. Let's do it again. I don't want to type in stuff. That's what you're here for. Here we go. Shouldn't inventory be a separate entity? Can't we just have it as a list? Pretty simple. So if we have the inventory as a separate entity, yeah, then each item could be linked to a hero. I mean, it would be cleaner. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's doing stuff. Yes. Private. All right. Why not? Yeah. Okay. This is. You're right, Catherine. Let's do it. Let's do it. Make this kind of a clean game. All right, we make this an entity, and then with the same stuff like this. And this actually just has a name, nothing else. Private, not final, string name, inventory entity. So this is one inventory item. Inventory item should be the right one. Because we don't need another inventory entity and then inventory item entity. This would be too much, I think. Yes, please do that. Tap to complete. Great. And then we get the getter and setter. Do we need this for the ID? I think we do. Probably safer. Here we go. It's not part of the serialization. Eh? Oh yeah. Implements serializable. Right. Yes. Okay. Here we go. So we got this one. The hero and what? Accept all. Ah, okay. We were kind of we didn't accept the changes, so we didn't do that. So we have a list of inventory items, right? And the collection table, join column, element collection. I don't know what that does actually. But this should be something like one too many, right? We have one hero, too many inventory items. Let's cascade that because these are really cheap items. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Let's put this here in as well. Okay, let's check this. This doesn't need an annotation because it's all good. This is all simple stuff, and we can get and set stuff. That should be enough. The inventory item, we did that. Now we have that. Yeah, we need this empty constructor for Spring. And what does the story entity have? Hello, Areochrome. Yeah, we are still working on Ollama, even with the LLaMA model. But right now I'm trying to implement some persistency. That's what we are trying to do today. Let's see how that goes. The story, yeah, it consists of story parts, and the story parts right now only have texts. So again, this is the same as with the inventory item, basically. We could have, yeah, basically the same. But let's leave that out for now, because I don't know about this storage. Okay, let's leave that out for now and bring this in later. Yeah, let's leave it for now. I would like to commit this even though it's not completed, but I want to have that. Or shall we wait with the commit? It would be better to wait, I think. All right. So what I did as well is create a little query here on ChatGPT where I tell it to implement some storage with PostgreSQL. And what that did is it created, yeah, this chat message entity. And I did that query before and it didn't tell me to persist the role. I'm not sure if this is necessary, but the interesting part for me was, well, it created this JPA repository for it. That makes sense to me. But here is where it gets interesting to me. We have that chat memory, which is a package from LangChain4J, and we simply implement some methods. And that's pretty cool. So we can actually implement our own chat memory, which lets us do this create our own JPA repository. And that could be really cool. And because I think LangChain4J is basically made for Quarkus, it could be that they don't natively support this, and that's why we need to create our own chat memory. But this is totally fine because it's very minimalistic, and if that's all we need, that's really enough. Okay, let's see. And then they use this, they create this Postgres chat memory. Yeah, that's what this is the class they implemented. And then they put it here in the conversational chain. I don't think we have a conversational chain going. Chain execute. Very interesting. So let's try that out. Okay. Because this is so very different, I want to commit some changes, which means this application stuff and the Docker compose. Added PostgreSQL to Docker and to app. Right, with the POM we added it to the app with the properties as well. So this so far is fine. Let's commit that. And then this is incomplete and does not work. And that's where we actually go to work now. All right. Let's start with this chat message entity. We have this persistence. We add this, and now we have some entity getters and setters. Okay, we can create these on our own. I don't know if we need that text. Does that help with PostgreSQL? Could be enumerated. This is something. I'm not sure if this is a good idea to have enums in a database. And I really don't know if we need this. Let's take a look at this really quickly, because we have this. Yeah, just copy it here. So this is part of the AI. Yeah, we don't have that repository. But this is something, yeah, we have. And we want, or we need to implement those methods. Yeah, okay. So what ChatGPT created was a single message, and it needs to create more. That's completely fine. Yeah, entity. Okay. This creates a single message entity and then sets the conversational ID. And where does that? From the constructor. That's something that's set? Well, does that make sense? So they created this with the conversation 1, 2, 3. So this could be our game ID. That's our identifier for this specific chat memory. That's not a bad idea, I think. So we have that idea, and it maps this role. Let's see about that. Okay, so the message, what does that have? It has a type, nothing else. And how does it take? Yeah, it gets the role, and there is no role. There is no role at all. It's just a type. And what kind of type is that? Message class. Sure. Why not? Let's see. What is class of a chat message? Oh, all right. And these are the chat message types. Oh, all right. So this is, yeah, this is different. It gets these types. And we basically have to check what type are you, and then map that. So the better name for this role would be the type, chat message type, because that's actually what we want. Yeah. Okay, that's something we can do. I think we can work with that. Okay, let's get to this one. Let's copy this just for now for us. We put that in the role part, yes. And actually, no. So this is system user AI, message from the AI, which is not the system. Tool execution results. I don't know if we want to have that even, but it seems like we can get that. So this is something we have to take care of. And this is not a role, but a chat message type. Yeah, select that and change it as well, because that doesn't make sense otherwise. Let's insert all these getters and setters. Yes, please. And we can move on with our Postgre chat message. Okay, so we just think of this as done for now. Let's move my face back here. All right. And then what we want, or what this needs, is to get messages. And this again uses this conversation ID. And I think that's pretty cool. That could work pretty well for us. Just this one thing, map entity to message. So this is not the chat message entity, chat message type. Yeah. Okay, but we can do that. Great. That's pretty cool. So we just have to refactor that a bit and then it could work. Yes. We have this. No, this is fine. Do we need the conversation ID? Yes. And that's something we want to have in the constructor as well, because that's something we really need. Actually, we need more in this constructor. Yeah, let's just make an empty one and see where this goes. No, we all need this. Let's copy this JP repository, because that should work pretty fine. Chat message entity, chat message repository. And yes, here we go. Find by conversation ID, order by created. Wonderful. That is a great idea to have that encoded here, so it should work without any problems. Great, I like that. So if we get these conversation IDs, no, these chat messages, they are in the right order already. Pretty cool. Let's take this and do the messages. There's no, yeah, okay, we can do that. We don't even need this. We just want a for each for this, and then we can save all of this. So message, here we go. This is all great. Oh no, okay. I thought we could do one save, but since this is transactional anyway right now, it's all good. Do we need to implement something? Yeah, okay. We need this as well. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know why we have to. Do we have to implement that? These are some things we have to implement. Oh, okay. All right. Chat message entity. Yes, we want to implement that, but we want to have the chat message type, and then we map the role, even though it's completely wrong. Yes, this is the right one. LangChain, yeah, okay. No, here we go. This is a problem. We should not name this chat message type. Yeah, just type, and it's in, yeah, it's defined in here, so it's the chat message dot type. I think that should work. And we actually want this one to return here. And this is not, wait a second. Chat message entity, yeah, here we go. We get this one, and this actually returns the right thing, and there's no text. Why is there no text? Huh. What? So we have to check the type first, and then we can take the name. What? And depending on this, we can get the value. Oh, this isn't nice at all. Maybe the AI message does not have, yeah, it has different kinds. And then this tool execution result probably has no text at all. It has text. Everything has text, so come on. You could at least give us text always. Nope, because the custom message doesn't have a text. How wonderful. This isn't nice. This is not nice at all. Now we have to handle that somehow. Let's take a look at the professionals. Here we have a chat memory. And do we have any implementation of that? Yes, the message window chat memory. This gets a builder. And it actually does message window. 1 second. This chat memory operates as a sliding window of max messages. It retains as many of the most recent window. Okay, so it has a short window of memory and messages, but it stores the messages nonetheless. And how does it do that? I think it's just really storing. No, the store. What's the store here? Chat memory. Okay. Yeah, that's another implementation of it. No, this is a chat memory store. Okay, 1 second. So this again is different. Represents a store for the chat memory state. And that's actually what we want. Currently, the only implementation available is in-memory chat memory store. Over time, out-of-the-box implementations will be added. Yes, over time. Let's look at the documentation, and we are transported to the wrong window. We take the right one. Okay. Chat memory, yes. Great persistence, that's what we want. Okay, maybe we should have looked at that before we ask ChatGPT. Maybe this is already simpler. Update messages. So this is everything we have to implement, which looks easier, but actually isn't. Because we have to do this as well. Implement update all. Yeah, okay. Okay. But let's continue a bit, because it could be that these are different chat messages. Nope, they are not. So we still have the same problem. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so one thing is we should actually implement this, which actually is not that different from what we tried to do so far. So let's do this, because this is actually what we want to do. Import this and then, hello, implement the methods. Remove all these useless things. Well, most of them are not useless. So we want to get these messages, but the memory ID is interesting. So maybe that's a bit different. Yeah, let's check that. What's the memory about? The memory ID. Implement getting all messages from the persistent store by memory ID. So that's what we are aiming for. Okay, and one second. So in the AI service, we have this chat memory provider. Ah, oh God, we're already using the message window chat memory, but I forgot about it. And we actually have this store, and that's what we want to change right now. And this does not have any ID in the constructor. We could do that. It wouldn't be a problem. But it seems like, okay, it seems like we don't, or the system does not want that. Ha! This will be interesting. A lot more interesting than I thought. I thought it would be just plug and play. But that's a very simplistic view of that whole situation. Let's go. Get the messages, update messages is, well, according to the ID, that's a bit tricky. Get messages from memory ID. And all these messages are according to that ID. So this is basically the same as the conversation ID. I don't know why we would need this still. I think we don't need it anymore, but I'm not sure, because this memory ID is something that we have no control over so far. So this memory ID is created here somewhere. Chat memory provider. Okay, can we get that? No, well, no. We can get the messages, but we can't get the memory ID. The memory ID is defined somehow with the streaming chat model. Ah, this is getting interesting. Let's keep it this way. Let's say this is our conversation ID, just for the sake of it. And we'll find out if this is the right way. Let's keep that coherent and make this the memory ID. And I was hoping that this would change as well, but it does not. How on earth did it all get so complicated? Yes, Catherine, that is a good question. I don't know. It escalated quickly. But still, it's interesting to find that out. So we want the memory ID by memory ID, and this is of course then the memory ID as well. we are calling this with the memory ID for some reason, and this is an object. Of course, it's an object and not something serializable. What? Oh, why? Chat message deserializer can be used easily. Huh, okay. This could really help us. Actually a lot. Oh man. But still. We need this memory ID. And we don't know what it is. Why? Why don't we... Blah. Let's say we can always call toString on that. Let's hope we can. And then we make this, yeah, we make this a memory ID. You can't hear me? I think you can. You don't want that. Okay. Something wrong with the... I think it's your sound. I think everything on my end works this time. It's not often that I get to say that. Yeah, Ariochrome, if you could confirm my claim, that would be great. Let's continue our journey so far, and we want to add this. Okay, okay, great, thank you. Thank you so much. So the sound should work. All right. We still got a lot of problems. Let's go. So what they suggested was that we can use chat message deserializer from JSON to JSON. Yes. We can convert a single message or a couple of messages. So what we don't need anymore are these damn types. We don't need those. The content, that's what matters. Yeah. Catherine, you restart the stream and then everything will be fine, I'm sure. Yeah. So what we actually want is set the content to this. Yeah, all right. It works, that's great. Import that class. Okay, something works. Well, no. I'm being too harsh on the LangChain4J guys. Everything they claimed worked. They said that there is no other implementation right now, no official implementation. But this is all right. Let's go through these messages with a wonderful stream and a for each loop. I love these things. And they make a lot of problems. They are fun. They are fun. I feel like a functional programmer if I use them, so this is great. Yeah, let's remove this. Isn't that amazing? So this is pretty cool, but we still need the memory ID toString. Yeah, why not? Just risk it. Can we replace what? Let's do it. Delete message. Yeah, we can do that as well. All the messages. Haha. Well, let's go to the repository and then delete. Yeah, we can't do that because this is the ID. Why on earth can't we, why shouldn't we make this memory ID the actual ID? I think it's not a good thing to do that in general, to leave a string as ID, but it's something we can do. Why shouldn't we? This is the Wild West, you know. We can do whatever we damn well please. Oh, we don't need that mapping again. It seems so much simpler now. This is amazing. I hate table names in there. This should all be auto-generated. The memory ID now is the ID, and we need this to be different. So far, so good. And what we don't need anymore is any type of definition, because we can simply find all by ID. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something? Here we go. By ID, why do we need... Oh. Yes, we have many messages with the same memory ID. That was stupid of me. Oh, I thought too little. Okay, still we don't need that type. We need this after all. That's fine. Why not? And yeah, we also need this. Could have been such a nice moment. Yes, and now we want to actually use the same thing. Just, I think the keyword is remove. No, it's delete. By memory ID with no order. That is fine. I think that could work. Always have problems remembering these things. Don't want this. This is fine. Yes. Okay. So this is named delete. Delete all by ID and stuff like that. Delete all ID in a batch. That's great. Delete all in batch. Now, do this, do that. A blast. That feels good. That feels good to remove all that stuff. We remove the conversation ID right now as well. This is auto-wired. Come on, auto-wire it. Yes. We have that final. Wonderful. Okay. Get messages. How can we get this? By simply deserializing them. I really don't know if we can finish that today, but it would be wonderful, because we have to change a lot in the general structure as well to make that possible. We'll get to that later. Map. We want to have this chat message deserializer. That's what it's called. Deserialize, yes. And message from JSON. Messages, no, it's a singular message. And we actually, this is the entity. And we want the entity get content from it. By ID, yes, beautiful. Simplify this. Isn't that beautiful? I can't stress this enough. I like it so much. And yeah, we load that, we save that, we delete it. Whew. Everything is as it should be. Why is this a component? I don't think we need that. And now the magic can unfold in our AI service, where we simply put this in. As there's no need for auto-wired annotation if the bean is wired up in the constructor. I think so too. I think so too. I do that because I like to say, define that this is auto-wired, but you are completely right. We don't need to have that. And I think in other implementations, I did not do that as well. So in the AI service, no, there's nothing. But in the view, I think we have that. Oh, we also annotated that. Okay, just remove it. Great. Okay, so the magic moment was that we replaced this. And yes, we need this repository here. Yeah. And I removed the component. But is this good to be a component? Yes. Because we don't want to have that ID that we manually set before anymore. We want to have that as a service. Let's try it. Go on. Yes, this is the AI service. Do we want that here or in? Yeah, we want that here. So this is the service. We have some private final chat memory. What was this? Chat memory store. Memory store. No, leave that out. We want to have that injected. And we actually get the Postgre memory store. This is this one. Here we go. Here we go. And this magic moment can be removed. We have that here. And this is it. I'm 100% sure this does not work right now. And why am I even saving all these entities? We have to. But why? Let's get into that. Now, popcorn, yeah. So we got the game entity on this one side. We want to save that because there's our hero and inventory and stuff, health, mana. We have that on the one side, and on the other side we have our chat message entity. And we have to bind those two together, and that is not possible. How is that possible? So ChatGPT did that by actually having these conversation IDs, which is a very nice way, I think, to combine these two. But LangChain4J actually suggested we take this memory ID. But who manages this memory ID? So if we create here we create a new memory provider. If we build this, do we have, this could be the case, chat memory provider. It can get the memory, it can get the chat memory for a specific memory ID, but who does create the memory ID? Maybe the streaming chat model. Memory? No, does not. We have this AI service. So this one builds, what does it do? yeah, it builds this service. Let's see. Nope. We can chat with it. And we get a token stream. But we don't get anything else. Haha. But this AI services. This is our assistant. Yes, this is implemented. No, this is defined by us and implemented by LangChain4J. Where can I see what the assistant can do? So let's do it the old-fashioned way, because I think ChatGPT is a little behind that. Doesn't have one game, one memory, AreaChrome asks. Yes, it does. And that works right now. But if we close that game, start a new one, how do we get this old memory out of the database and bind it to a game? This is not possible right now because we need this memory ID. And I think the assistant should have that somewhere, but I don't know if we can access it. This is the AI services, which is basically the assistant, yeah, AI services, and the interface for which AI services will provide. Create, and then it builds a chat model. So kind of the hacky but easiest way is to do it like ChatGPT suggested, with another ID that we can handle, and we can simply bind that to the game. List the memories as saved games at the start. Yeah, but then again, we have these game memories and we have the memory of the LLM, and we want to put them together, and that's not possible, and we don't want the user to select a game and a memory for it, because that could mess up a lot of stuff. Yeah, like I said, we could store two IDs, but I don't want that. And this is not working. Chat memory. Was that the one we had before? No, this is a different page now. This is the chat memory provider, memory ID. Hello. So this memory ID, we want that. The chat memory provider. 1 second. Let's get to this chat memory store. That's the chat memory provider. And what does the chat memory provider do? What? There we have it. The memory ID. It's right there. And this is great. Okay, we have that memory ID. We actually set that exactly. And so the chat memory provider has that memory ID, and we simply need to bind this to our game model. Great. This is amazing. We create this and we get returned an assistant, which is beautiful. We want that, we need that. But at the same time, we want the memory ID as well to keep this bound to our game. So generate new chat. No. That's not what we want. What this main call. This is the chat model. This is the one we constantly talk to, and we actually want the memory ID returned back here as well. No. Let's get into it again. We actually can't. We can't return the memory because this is this will get called at some point, right? It's the memory provider, so if it gets a memory, it forwards that to the memory store. We can't set the memory store to a specific game. What can we do? We could, okay. This is getting complicated once again. Okay, so we want to return this, right? That's the main purpose of this whole thing. Yeah, but we could do something with the memory ID. What we have are these hero UI communicators. And that has a reference to our hero. Ooh. And a game manager. What's the game manager? I forgot so much about this already. That looks good. And that could really help us. Yeah, there was moments when I thought it would be easy, Catherine, but I think never really was easy. Yeah, you're right. Good. The hero UI communicator is actually a very good place for us to start because there are setters in here somewhere deep inside. Yes. And here we update the inventory. At that point, we need to update the database anyways because we want to store the changed inventory. This is very good for us because it actually tells me the hero communicator is the exact right place for the memory ID to be set for our game, hopefully. Oof, that's a long shot, but it's a shot I'm willing to take. So, always easy with the AI doing all the programming. Yes. Well, we are programming the AI and the AI is helping us doing this. And it works flawlessly. Set the memory ID with the memory ID. And this is an object, which is great. It is such a pleasure. A create method, set memory ID. Yes, I'm really getting kind of warped around. Good. So updating the inventory does. Yeah, so that's the hero UI communicator. Do we need another thing to have a hero storage communicator? We don't want that, do we? I don't want that. I actually would like to have the repository in here. No, the service. Yes, the game service. So nobody will know what's the difference between the game service. I didn't know that we have a manager already, and the game service. This is quite a bad naming. Let's call it the game over manager for now, because that's all it does, really. And this is the game service, which does the persistency. Shall we call it game persistency service? I think it would make sense in this case. Persistence service would be easier to understand, and if that helps, hey, we should go for it. Yes, thank you, AI. Yes, we need this. Of course we do. And we want to have that injected. The game persistency service. Yes. Hello. Put it in here. Have a great time. There's the error. Here's the error. And this is coming together. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, so the game persistency service. We don't actually have the game object here. Why? I don't know. I think at some point we thought that would be enough. I don't think that anymore. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah. Let's change it. We want to have the whole game here. Actually, what's the difference between the game and the hero? The game also holds the story. We don't hold the story in the entity. I think we can safely delete this, because that's actually all persisted in the chat message entity. Whew. Yeah. Why not? Why not? So to return back here of what we want to do, the hero UI communicator actually is fine with the hero, because that's all we really need to change. And maybe the game persistence service is not that accurate anymore, but we'll leave it for now. I think, yeah. Let's to be open for future changes. I think it's a good way to have the complete game here and not just the hero. That should be better in the long run if we add something else to the game. And we have the game here anyways, right? I hope so. No, we don't. But we can. This is not a problem. Yeah. And voila, we have it. Ooh. Why is this so far gone? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm way over my time. That's all right. It's all for a good cause. The good cause being a somehow playable game, even though we destroyed the LLM pretty much last time. Oh. Yes. Now, let's change all this hero stuff to game hero. Great. That is fun refactoring. Let's do it this way. Yes. Here we go. Replace. I think that's all good. Yep. Good to go. Now, we can. Oh man, sometimes I don't know what's going on. So we need the whole game because we actually want to set the memory ID for the game. That's the whole point. Do we do that in here? I think, this is a record. Which makes sense because once it's set, we should not change it. But in this case, I think we have to. Yes. I think I did say that in the beginning as well. Most of the times I'm using records as a starting platform, and then most of the time I have to change them. I have to change them to normal classes because then I want to change something, want to have something changeable, and then it all goes down the drain. So we want the memory ID, and that's actually not final, my good friend. And in the constructor, we only need these two, but for getting and setting, no, only for memory ID, we need the getting and setting, and for everything else, we have the getters. Good. Really short change. Shouldn't be much of a problem, except that we, of course, now that's a fun thing I have. Now we have to always call getHero instead of just hero, like we did before. And where is that problem? Here we have that problem for sure, but we can replace that, of course, again with a simple get and then hero. We replace all the instances, and once again we are good to go. Whew. Great. Now this is exactly what I want. Perfect. Great. But it actually does nothing. We have that game. We have the game mapper. And because these are not special entities, they should be just fine. Select none, please. Getter and setter for both of those. They should be fine just like that. This hero entity, we don't need to store them separately. I think that should work just fine. Where were we? The mapper, no. The repository, no. The persistent service. Here we have our game repository. We want to save the game mapper. Nice. Yeah. And this is something we have to do. The game entity has the hero. Yeah, one thing we absolutely have to add here is the private thing. Yeah, why is it not private? I think I'm running out of breath soon. But let's see how far I can come before this all breaks down. Because it's really interesting to see to do all that stuff. The hero entity, yes, we have to, of course, also map this. Then we return it, but first we have to set the memory ID, and we get that from this game. And actually we can go one step further and say that this memory ID, because it's so strange, is actually an object as well. So we don't have to cast that anywhere. And actually only the mapper then for the actual database needs to change that to a string. Yes, and now we call it toString. Wonderful. Now let's map the hero game get the hero, and we set the hero to a new hero entity, which we have to define because we don't have wonderful constructors. Hero entity, please make that a variable. Hero entity, set the name, this looks great. Set the health, amazing. Set the mana, and now here comes the fun part with the inventory. And we have to change the inventory, but we can do that with a fun little stream, I think. Get the game hero, get the inventory, map that to a new inventory item name. Great. Here we go. Yes, create a new one, set the name, return it, put it in a list, and be done with it. Set the hero. Now this is the easy part. Here we go. This should be fine, but the other way around will be a bit of a stretch, because we can't recreate the story, really, can we? We can, but it's more difficult. So we add a to-do. Load story from database. Thank you. This is exactly the way I want it. Now we get the hero for, yeah, let's not do this here. Well, no, we can't do that here, right? No. Let's create a new hero. Why is this wrong? Yeah, because we have to get the name. Then introduce our new hero, set the health, set the mana. Wonderful, that's fun. Add inventory. Okay, let's do that another way. Get inventory for, wonderful. Get the inventory, and for each of this, no, get the inventory map to string inventory item, get ID, get name, exactly. And then we can simply do a hero, add inventory, add inventory. Whew. This is so fun. So this is our hero. We don't have the story, but we have a hero. And this is actually something we need later on, but not right now. AreaChrome asks, why exactly is memory ID treated as object in some functions? Might be a dumb question, but I have no experience with Postgre at all. This is not a problem with Postgre. I have to defend Postgre here. This is a weird behavior from LangChain4J. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Let's take a look right now. So this chat memory provider is defined by this function. Can we? So yeah, this is a functional interface. So if you want to create an anonymous chat memory provider, so anonymous means you don't want to define an extra class for that. If you want to do that, what we did is you can simply implement this one function. And by doing that, you actually create a new anonymous class that implements this chat memory provider. And this is exactly what we are doing here. So this is actually a class definition in some way. But as you can see here, the memory ID is an object. So maybe we can read this. This method is called each time an AI service method having a parameter annotated with memory ID. I hope we do that. Is called with a previously unseen memory ID. Once the chat memory instance is returned, it's retained in memory and managed by dev. This is interesting, because it might be that we need multiple memory IDs for one game. This could be fun. But for now, that's the actual reason why we have this object calling around. And if you take a look at this Postgre chat memory that we implemented, we have to override this method in order to implement the chat memory store. And for that, we also have this object, the memory ID as an object. And what we actually do right now, because I have no idea what the memory ID is call toString for Postgre. So this is Postgre. Postgre handles the memory ID as a string right now. We'll see how that works in the end. Wonderful. Let's continue our great journey through time and space. And we are here. We have the game mapper that's actually implemented very neatly. Wow. It looks like, in theory, we have everything. No, we don't, because the actual AI service, well, and the chat view, that's actually the thing here that should load from the database. But I think we can't do that today. Let's see, let's erase that error here. I think that's just a get story. Yes. What I really want to finish today is like getting started and just see that it does something. Yeah, so the Docker is already running. It's running the Postgre, but it has never been touched yet. So let's touch it by starting our application. Ooh, this was a lot for today. And I don't have anything to drink anymore. But Catherine and Ariochrome, I'm so happy that you're still with me and at least watching in some way. It's pretty interesting to see that that I'm not the only one who's confused here sometimes. No property created at found at chat message entity. Yeah, it shouldn't be. Why does it think it? Heh. Yes, I know. Damn it. Okay. In order, that's why it was there. This created at. Give me 1 second. Does that actually make sense? Absolutely. Absolutely, it does make sense to store the created at as well. Yeah. So we want to have a local datetime, right? Created at. I don't know if we have to annotate that any differently. I think that should work out of the box. Maybe not. Created at, yes, that is wonderful, but we have to set it at some point and we don't do that right now. So let's get into that. So, okay, maybe I didn't explain that properly. So we have this find by memory ID order, and then it's ordered by created at. And it's because the way this is formatted, this method name, Spring automatically looks for this property created at, and if it doesn't find it, it creates an error, which is perfectly fine and correct. So we want to have that created as a local date time from now. Great. Ah, nothing to drink. Okay, it's booting something up. Okay, this is great. The wrong browser. Once again, that's fine. There was an exception while trying to navigate with the root cause. No such bean. Yeah, so if Spring has an error creating a bean, it will display this, and then we can look for the actual perpetrator who made the error. Let's see. Yes, error creating, yes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Game persistency, yes, we already established that. Chat view, well, no, this is a higher up. We want to go lower and lower in this error. And satisfied, expressed through constructor, parameter 1. Game persistent service, dependency annotation. Expected at least, okay. So the what? Chat view, what? The game persistency service? Oh, no, that's the wrong one. This is the right one, and we did not, we did not clarify that as service, which is perfectly fine. So now it works. I'm very sure today. No, it probably won't work, and could be very easily that we are not finishing for today. Okay. Once again, great. Don't tell me something work. No. Okay. Cannot invoke because tools is none. Set. Wait a second. What? Tools is none? You are kidding me. Why should it be none? Null. Tools is not null. Ah. Well, because I'm using it with memory, but with no tools. Why? So this is the one that's fooling me. This is the initial part. And why does it not give the tools with us? What? This is a fatal flaw in this whole process. What? So that means the initial message always falls through? God. Let's see. How could this have worked before? Yeah. Let's just see. Actually, we also would need to check if this tool is null, and then we simply don't set the memory ID because then it's fleeting. Let's go again. Hello. Yes, Hans is still our go-to guy, and we are victorious. What an amazing game this is. And we get this cat face. Unfortunately, it's sad. But still, we did it. Congratulations, Hans. And now, my visuals were gone for a second. Why? I don't know. It doesn't throw any errors. So yeah, we did it. We won. Yeah. I actually think it doesn't store anything yet because we are not saving the game yet, stuff like that. But for today, that must be enough. This was a wild ride. And I'm very confident that next time we can finish that, and maybe I'll try to do some extra stuff. No, not extra stuff. I can do some tinkering around, and maybe I finish it off stream and then present the result next time. This was crazy. I did not think that this would be so much work to implement the chat memory. But like I said, it was the case every time. Basic implementation of chat memory persistence in PostgreSQL. Yeah, let's leave it at that. I think that was it for today. So again, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and it wouldn't be as much fun if nobody at all watched. So thanks, AreaChrome. Thank you, Catherine. And hopefully you are with me next time as well, when we finally finish that great persistency. Yeah. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. See you next time. Goodbye.